Which quarterback in the NFL will, won't, and should improve from a year ago? And Dylan Raiola, is he worth $3 million? All of that and more. Don't forget to punch in for the night shift at After Hours 1620 on Twitter or on zonetv.live. Caleb, thanks for being here tonight, man. I appreciate it.
This is a much faster switch between shows than I'm used to.
Yeah, we're like a hockey line. We just kind of get in, get out.
This feels not like a hockey line. This feels like a NASCAR race, and there was definitely a wheel got loose somewhere.
Yeah, we used to ask the USC guys to do a crossover, but Josh got sick of us always asking about the Cowboys. So now the
crossover is that
it out.
30-second sprint in and sprint out. That's the crossover.
So yeah, it's how are you? Good to see you. Have a great night. Drive home safe to Lincoln. This is our first show doing this, man. I'm really happy you're able to do this, and John's going to be gone throughout the volleyball season, so hopefully. We can get you in more often, and hopefully we don't scare you off too bad. But we got a news dump before we get the show started. The SEC has officially moved to a 9+1 format where they are going to have 9 conference games. We've been waiting for this to happen. But the caveat is they're going to have one Power 4 game automatically scheduled or Notre Dame for every SEC opponent. Now, they've put some parameters on this that make it make sense also. They will still continue to have single standing, non-divisional structure. So it's just top 2 teams, whoever they are going to the SEC championship game. Each school will play 3 annual opponents focused on maintaining traditional rivalries. And this is the part that I love, the piece that the Big Ten just misses by a mile. Each team's remaining 6 games will rotate among the remaining conference schools, and each team will face every other SEC program at least once every 2 years in a home and away series every 4 years as well. So there's a rhyme and reason to what they're doing. It's just not all about TV ratings.
Well, and what if the Big Ten were to reflect that last point that you're talking about?
Yeah.
That last point in particular. So last year, Nebraska hosts UCLA, goes out to USC. This year, those two flip-flop. Instead, what they would have done is had this year's at UCLA and hosting USC. Those would have been moved to 2026. And this year, you would have had an Oregon and Washington, one here, one out there.
And you wouldn't have to worry about playing Ohio State 7 years in a row for no reason.
No, there's that. So I'm curious as you do get the full rotation of what the Big Ten games are. And I mean, same with the SEC. I'm sure when Texas and Oklahoma were joining, they're like, how many times are we going to have to see Alabama and Georgia?
This is obviously the big news right now, but I'm in this mode with everything going on with college athletics with what does this mean for what's coming next?
That's called secondary angle.
Yeah,
it's there's the headline. There's what is the news. Everyone's talking about the news, but what does it mean?
Yeah,
why
is this happening? And there's so much discussion about the split and pay for play and having to spend X amount of dollars to have a seat at the table if you're going to be a part of whatever the big split ends up being. And it feels like for the first time over the last couple of months, we've had this divide between the Big Ten and the SEC. I think it's really intriguing that we've never had a school leave a power whatever conference or be leaving for a different conference in the discussion about, well, we're interested in the Big Ten or the SEC. Kind of seems like there's been this divide down in the United States, and the Big Ten has the North and the SEC has the South, and it's been, we'll play nicely for now. And then Greg Sankey's taking shots at the Big Ten, and Tony Petitti's out here talking about 96-team college football playoff or whatever.
Can you imagine?
Whatever he wants today.
That's fun, though. Come on. Let's line that up.
So here's been my standpoint. We talked about this on Tuesday night. It's one of those things like, listen, you can tell me how much you hate it, and I'll believe you. But you know what's going to happen that second to last Saturday in December? You're probably turning your television on and watching. Nobody's ever going to complain about more football during football season.
It's very similar to the standpoint that I have on bowl season, where I enjoy the games. I tune into the games. I am watching 6-6 against 7-5. Very mediocre teams, whether they're from a lesser conference or a power conference, whatever it is, I'm tuning in. But that doesn't change my mindset that these are your participation ribbons. This is what you get for coming and hanging out and achieving mediocrity. Like, it doesn't change what that is, but I'm not turning the TV off.
Well, if you're in Iowa City, it means you can hang a banner in your practice facility. I think the one thing that we're still waiting to kind of see is what is Notre Dame's role in all of this. And I've been a big proponent of whatever happens post the NCAA / Big Ten SEC merge is waiting on what happens in South Bend, Indiana. Now, I think it's really interesting that the SEC wrote this caveat about 9+1 Power 4 game or Notre Dame. So it doesn't put any pressure on anybody at Notre Dame, and we'll still it's kind of like the Power 4 plus Notre Dame is kind of where we are for big boy college football. Right?
Yeah. And they put that in there because we already consider, if you just say Power 4, we think of Notre Dame included in that.
Right.
But Notre Dame probably hears Power 4 and goes, well, that doesn't include us. We're the equivalent of a Power 4 program, but we're different.
They probably think they're the Power 1.
Yeah, so they, and I think that's why you included that verbiage, because Irish fans and Irish administration probably would take it as a slight if you just said it's got to be Power 4.
I think it's really interesting that the ACC has had, obviously, Florida State, Clemson, possible lawsuit. There's been a discussion about North Carolina, even before the buyout shrink, and all of this doom and gloom about the ACC. But folks have been kind of quiet about it because they're technically not obviously a football school for the ACC, but all of their other schools are affiliated with the conference, and there hasn't been really much said about everything else that's going on in that conference when it comes to Notre Dame. But I just don't think we get the big split or the College Sports Commission becoming the power it needs to unless Notre Dame picks a side. Now, I think a lot of people would say, well,
and Notre Dame's not going to pick a side until the college football playoff says you have to.
Right. And with their athletic director with a seat on that board, probably seems pretty hard to make them do so. But I think it's going to be really interesting because the national footprint would say, okay, well, if you divide the line down the middle of the United States, Notre Dame's technically in the South. They'll obviously kind of kowtow to the Big Ten, but they join the ACC, which is a Southern. So it kind of feels like the ACC is the next thing to fall the way the side of the Pac-12 did. But if that's the case, does Notre Dame just go, okay, we're just going to be independent in everything, or are we going to join the Mountain West too?
It's like you're going on a road trip and you're taking multiple cars and you've got the extended family. And it's like, well, do you want to ride with mom or do you want to ride with dad? And you're like, hey, cousin Eddie over there.
Yeah.
Let me go ride with him.
Can I ride the bed of your truck?
Yeah, it's not as nice. It's not as nice. We're definitely going to have cheaper snacks while we're there. It'll be a little bit bumpier. But we're all eventually getting to the same place, right? So that's what Notre Dame is doing by being in the ACC instead of the Big Ten or the SEC with the rest of their sports.
Yeah, and Kenneth makes a good point on don't forget to punch up the night shift. You can leave us a comment on YouTube, Dan, if you want to go ahead and throw that up on the screen if you have a second. He said it's going to force the Big Ten to keep the USC Notre Dame rivalry, and Notre Dame will have no problem replacing them if they bail. Now, here's kind of the caveat to that, like, how many people are taking the Matt Rule approach, and how many people are taking the Nick Saban, Steve Sarkisian approach? Like, yeah, you can schedule a power 4 opponent. Mississippi State and Vanderbilt and Purdue are still technically power 4 opponents, so it doesn't mean you're gonna get Michigan versus Auburn every single year. You're probably gonna get a lot more teams that are like, we really like Purdue, and we would like to donate some money to West Lafayette, Indiana tonight, because we just feel very passionate about that program. Also, we'd really like you to come to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and lay down for us and let us beat you 63-0.
And that's such a good point, because a lot of people, when it's, well, you have to schedule your P4 versus P4 games. It's not going to be Alabama, Wisconsin, or Michigan. It's not Ohio State, Texas.
Sure,
every single one. And then you look at the way the teams have played over the last several years, you're going to get a lot more of, with respect to what they have been over the last decade, for sure, Nebraska, Colorado's.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get a lot more of those types of games. And that doesn't take away clearly what the excitement was a few years ago in Boulder for the Colorado fans.
Yep.
Or in Lincoln last fall. Like, those games are still exciting, but you're going to get a lot more games that involve Arizona and Wake Forest and Boston College. And yes, Lance Leopold's done some nice things and they've got a better stadium, but it's still going to include Kansas.
What I would love is, we've kind of seen the SEC do it with the ACC, but I would love to see one standard crossover game between the Big Ten and the SEC, and that becomes a rivalry game where you get that game every single year. And you could find things like Nebraska versus Missouri. That's obviously got some...
Just find the old Big 8 schools.
Yeah, well, not even that, but like, I don't think it necessarily has to be a rivalry now, but if you put them on each other's schedule and force them to play a home and home every single year, that's naturally going to just start meaning something, especially if you put it at the end of the season. Now, that might be a little difficult with the built-in rivalries like the Iron Bowl and Michigan, Ohio State, or what have you. But if you find a certain, like, just let's get rid of Alabama versus the Citadel in week 11 or week 10 and just build that in as the SEC Big Ten crossover week.
Well, the SEC is going to have to do something anyway. If they're adding a conference game, does that conference game come earlier in the year? Or do they replace Cupcake Week?
Yeah, I still think that you find McNeese State somewhere around the back end of somebody's schedule.
Shout out McNeese.
Yeah, thank you, Amir Abdullah.
But that's exactly where I was like, oh, you can't think McNeese without thinking of Amir Abdullah on a 4th and 15. He catches the ball behind the sticks.
Yeah, I refuse to celebrate that play, though, just because I don't feel like we should need that to beat McNeese. That play and then the Hail Mary against Northwestern, I just refused. They're great. I'm glad we won those games. I'm just not going to champion them.
And the thing, and on the other side, I don't really care who the opponent is. You look at the situation and you kind of remove the jerseys and you go, who did the thing that needed to be done to win that game?
It was that dude.
And that's what makes it special.
Sure.
Those are the things that make it special. When you take a step back and go to 10,000 feet and you're like, it was McNeese. You shouldn't have been in that situation anyway. I get that. But think about the way that game would
close to being Michigan.
Think about the way that game would be viewed if he stops short of a first down. If he doesn't make that play, if Westerkamp doesn't make the catch and them call him, like, nope, he was across the goal line.
I think Bo Pelini probably would have lost his job sooner.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can look at it. But at the end of the day, those are 2 W's. And Nebraska's had a hard time getting W's over the last decade.
Yeah, again, this is at a time where we're winning 9 games regularly, so maybe that's why I don't look at it as fondly. Is there somebody in the SEC that you'd like to see Nebraska play year in and year out?
Tennessee.
Eventually at some point.
So for me, and maybe that's because
there's a lot of parallels with those 2 schools.
There are. And as somebody who was Peyton Manning for Halloween in 1997,
Nebraska famously kicked his ass in a bowl game.
Not even kidding. I had a Peyton Manning jersey for Halloween in 1997, watching a Dodge High School football game. Because my mom was from Tennessee, my family was from Tennessee, and they're having a good year, and they're all excited about Peyton Manning. So what does my grandfather do? Well, they send up I got a Peyton Manning jersey. So that's
an actual Tennessee.
So I had an actual Tennessee orange Peyton Manning jersey. Obviously things went really well for Nebraska.
Yeah,
at least to share all of that good stuff.
Yeah,
but I really like the idea of home and homes, and that's one of the reasons that I was disappointed.
You got to go to Neyland every 2 years.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was a little disappointed in that. But you think about SEC schools that Nebraska has history with, and you immediately go to Missouri
for sure,
right? If you're doing Big Ten SEC stuff, you immediately pair up Nebraska, Missouri, or now because they're in there, you've got your Oklahoma, and Texas,
right?
And more likely than not, if you were to do something that was Big Ten SEC, you probably put your programs with 2 or 3 other programs in the other league.
Yeah.
And you do rotations that go over 6 years.
Kind of have to. Probably.
So for Nebraska, it becomes a natural. You're going to get a home and road with Missouri, with Oklahoma, and Texas over the next 6 years.
Who wouldn't take that? I don't think anybody's turning that down.
Sign up for that tomorrow.
I mean, even all 3 schools. Like if you're telling the people in Austin, Norman, and in Columbia, hey, you're going to get that Nebraska fan base surge once every 6 seasons. Sign me up.
Norman just saw it. They just saw it a couple of years ago. They would take that, and especially
you got Colorado's AD clamoring and chomping at the bit trying to get them to come back.
Exactly, and you would, especially if you're in the place that like the Longhorns are right now, as one of what I would call 5, 6 programs with a legitimate chance to win the national championship this year.
Yeah.
You can have surprises, but you can count them off. There's 5 programs that you go, it's down to those 5, and then you fill in the rest of the bracket. And Texas is probably going to continue to be there. You say,
especially in the NIL era.
Yeah, NIL era, all of the Lambos and the nice cars out front when they're recruiting. You look at Lincoln and go, we'd take those guys every 2 years.
Yeah, for sure.
We give us those guys because
it gives you a marquee matchup.
Yeah, they're not looking at just the marquee matchup. They're looking at that as they're already checking off a W.
Yeah.
Now, if Matt Rule can get things and things look good this fall, maybe it looks a little different.
Right.
But some of those programs look at Nebraska and say, yeah, that's a win.
Especially where it's been the last 9 years.
Exactly.
Hey, that's Kaleb Henry. He's in for John Schreiner tonight. I'm Jimmy Allen, Dan Campen, and Directed Traffic tonight. If you missed our opening segment, it was brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com under the After Hours tab. Speaking of Aloe Fiber, they've got a deal for you all the way up until Labor Day. You can switch, stack, and save. Combine Aloe's internet with DirecTV's streaming services, as well as the brand new, all new Allo Mobile. Lock in your price for 2 years. That's 24 months of premium services with no surprises. This deal's up for grabs until Labor Day. Don't wait. Head over to allofiber.com/stack tonight. Matt Rule, is he eventually going to be the next co-host of After Hours? We'll debate all that more when we come back. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, essentially located over off at 78th and Dodge. They've got a deal for you until the end of this month. You can head over to 78th and Dodge. Stop in at Jerry Ryan. You're going to get up to 50% off everything on the summer rack, whether it be suits, sport coats, pants, sports shirts, polos, golf shorts, whatever you need, 20 to 50% off. Head over to Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear, 78th and Dodge. They've been dressing Omaha for over 50 years.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and warm into the evening with the temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. Mostly clear tonight, a low around 66, then partly cloudy on Friday, a high around 88. There's a chance of a shower or thunderstorm we get into Friday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Rainby from KETV Newswatch 7.
You can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience from their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Husker coverage on 1620 The Zone is powered by Skradsky Heating and Cooling. Skradsky Heating and Cooling is locally and family owned. Visit heatomaha.com to find out about the Skradsky difference. And listen to 1620 The Zone for the best Husker coverage in Omaha.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.6:15 on a Thursday night here on After Hours, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all of Bellevue's championship action by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone. Tonight, Kaleb Henry is trying his hand at late night radio. Matt Rule is trying his hand at podcasting. It got announced last night. I can't tell you how many times I fact-checked this last night because I did not think this was going to happen. Matt Rule has launched the House Rules podcast, where he's going to be interviewing players and talking about obviously being the head coach in Lincoln. And I can't help but feel like they looked at the walk and talk success and everything that Chasing 3 was and went, how do we get more of this? Now, Caleb, I don't know about you, but I've had several people in my life reach out to me and ask, hey, how do I get involved in sports media, and how do I host a podcast, and how do I
they're not just asking you for tickets to games?
I also get that. But I think I can count on one hand how many people that have asked me how to start a podcast that I've helped do so and are continuing to do it.
It is tough. It's one of those things, and like this is a very, very common refrain about it is starting a podcast is easy.
Correct.
Doing the first 2 or 3 episodes, 4 or 5 episodes is easy. After those first couple of weeks, after that first month, that's hard to continue to come back and do it. And especially, obviously, like, you're an incredible salesman, by the way.
Thank you.
As I look at the show and I look at all the things that you do and look at the way these 2 hours are set up.
When you have somebody as good looking as Dan Campen in to sell, it becomes very
I am the show sex symbol.
In a non-trafficking way, I guess I should probably say
sex
that.
sells on the radio, and it's AM and it's still free, but it will sell.
Even when it's sex, it's still AM radio. Is that
I think that's the way it goes.
That's what I said to Mary.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that it can be tough to continue that if you're not seeing like immediate monetary gains. If you're not seeing immediate, this is how many people are clicking and downloading and watching. Matt Rule doesn't have to worry about that, obviously.
He's got a monster behind him. But here's the other thing. They're undefeated right now in the offseason. There has not been a loss. And as somebody, and I know as much as you love Creighton basketball, I needed to make sure I bring this up. Obviously, on the Roll Jays podcast last year, we interviewed Stephen Ashworth after every game. And every time there was a loss in there, that conversation got a little more difficult, right? So I think the other thing to think about here, though, is how much is this Matt Rule controlling the narrative about his program as well? Because if you do have a loss and there's a lot of questions and you have somebody that's well-spoken within your program and you can bring them in and have a conversation with them, put them in front of the camera, and then kind of humanize the people underneath the helmet and the shoulder pads, I think that changes the way people feel about the losses and specifically about those players.
But isn't he he's controlling the narrative already?
Agreed.
He's already in the look at what a game week is going to look like. It's already going to be different over this next week. But when you get into the week with Akron, and when you get into the week with Houston Christian, and
you can be drunk while you do it.
Yeah, you go through this. You go through the weeks, and we're going to hear from him on Monday, and we're going to hear from him on Thursday.
Yep.
And not every week, but a lot of weeks throughout the season, he will be on Sports Nightly as the coach that's on there.
Right.
That's already 3 times outside of the game that we're going to hear from Matt Rule. And now you add in this weekly content. I don't know that there's a whole lot different that he's able to say, but he does control the conversation. He's not taking questions. Like he said, he has questions or things that he wants to explore. I think he can do those in front of the press as well, but it is a space that is his.
Yeah.
So he controls that space, and obviously it's with a Philly guy that he's very comfortable with. If you guys haven't watched this yet or listened to it, I turned it on this morning. I was actually 20 minutes ahead of the premiere because I had it pulled up when it went unlisted, and then they premiered it, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll see a little bit before everyone else. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
But if you ever think that some of the New York comes out in Matt Rule, the Philly comes out in Matt Rule, him with a guy who is very authentically Philly,
right?
You get that immediately. So he is in. I think he's a very authentic individual when he talks at the mic, when he talks to the media, when he goes and does interviews, when he just chats away from the mic as well. But you get him on this. I don't know that it's going to give us any groundbreaking information as we're trying to absorb all of that. But I found it extremely entertaining in watching him because he is a really good orator. He is a really good interviewer. He is really good at navigating a conversation. And if we do get a little bit more behind the scenes, I don't know how much more behind the scenes we can get with this program. But it was fun and entertaining to listen to and watch. And I'm I mean, I'm gonna turn it on every week just to see what he's chatting about. I thought the interview he had with the author was a little bit long,
a little too long for sure.
But when you look back at not just the walk and talks, but the sit down he did with Archie Wilson.
Yep.
When I was watching him do that sit down with Archie Wilson, I was like, he needs to interview more of his guys.
When he spoke at the Jet Award 2 years ago, he never had an or an he never hesitated and just got up there, and you could tell he didn't have this prepared and just spoke from the hip for 8 minutes and had the entire room in the palm of his hand. Now it helps who he is, where he was speaking, the award he was at, obviously.
And it helps his upbringing. And this is one of the things. This is one of the things that when he was first hired and he talked at the Hawks Championship Center, I remember the headline I had for that. I called it the sermon at the Hawks.
Yep. That's exactly what
because Matt Rule, with his upbringing being a pastor's kid, and so you're around people that are constantly having to be on. And that's a thing that in our industry, some people don't always get.
Yep.
That like we
all have off days, right?
Yeah. But like to be away from a mic,
yeah.
to be somewhere, and then you have to be on. And for Matt Rule, for big time power football coaches, you have to be on. He's out to eat with his family. You have to be on if people come and talk to you. So he's gone through that his entire life of what does it look like to just be on all the time and able to deliver. And he does that through the way he's able to give speeches and present. And that's what makes it interesting as he enters the podcast world. But to your first point, you have to win. Because think about if this was going on last year and we were like, where's the chasing threes? Why aren't we getting chasing threes? It's because they haven't won in a month.
Or if you're in the middle of a 4-game losing streak.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Now, he is not the first Husker head coach to be an active head coach and have a podcast. John Cook had Kicking Back with the Cooks. The big difference where that program, where was that program when Cook rolled that out versus when Matt Rule rolls this out?
Well, I'll tell you this: if he goes dark, if there is a lull in this season and it's not going well, and he stops doing this podcast, he's going to be criticized for it. Maybe he doesn't care. That's fine, but it's not like everybody's going to say, "Oh, it's fine. They're losing. He doesn't want to talk." That's not how this works. You mentioned the New Yorker of it all and the Philadelphia of it all. Like, I think a lot of people have been accents have been ruined for them because of Brian Kelly and his trip to Louisiana.
His very first one, and the way he pronounced family.
But I think anytime you're around somebody, if you're from somewhere and your accent has waned, like if you're from the Upper Peninsula, Dan, or Northern Michigan, or even people from the East Coast, when they go back and they're around their family for a while, it just naturally comes back out in them. And I think that's what's going to happen in this series.
You put me on a phone call with my grandfather in Tennessee.
You start talking a little slower.
5 minutes with Papa, and yes, I don't necessarily slow down, but you'll hit certain words. They'll start to have a little more twang in them. And he'll be like, "Hey, it's great talking to you, Tiger." I'm like, "I love it, Papa." And like we go, and I'm just like,
"What's your grandpa's name?"
Edgar.
Shout out to Edgar. I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah, Marine veteran.
Okay.
So yeah, he's been around the block a time or two, but yeah, he back there in Spring Hill, Tennessee.
Shout out to all of our fans of the After Hours Lounge in Spring Hill, Tennessee.
But yeah, so 5 minutes on a phone call with him. I don't even have to be there, just on a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up there.
It just happened.
I grew up in central Nebraska.
Famously very different than Tennessee.
Yeah, very famously zero accents in Sherman County, Nebraska, okay?
No mountains either. You mentioned we're going to hear from Matt Rule. We're going to on Mondays and Thursdays. We're going to hear from him tomorrow as well.
It's got to be like the first question.
Bingo.
That's gotta be like the first
there's
question.
There's no way people aren't the first one. It's probably going to be Mitch or Sip, and somebody's going to go, "Why are you doing a podcast?" That it has to be that question. We need the why to this.
Well, and I think there's some questions of if you have an extra hour in the week to do this,
why?
Well, not the why, not in the preparation, but I think other local media are like, "Hey, I'd take 10 minutes."
Yeah.
And then I would take 10 minutes and then you would take 10. We'd all love a little bit of exclusivity for 10 minutes.
You've been in that room to ask questions.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
Right. So your first time interacting with Matt Rule, how did that go?
Good.
Yeah.
Like he's so personable. It feels like you're not meeting him.
So I know you listen to the show a ton. You're a huge fan, so you've probably heard the story. So for anybody that hasn't, I'm going to tell it again. The first time that I went down there and I asked a question, he answered my question, made eye contact with me, and thanked me for my question. And then the interview got over, and he walked out of the room. I walked out. I was the first person to pack my stuff up and leave, and he was talking to somebody in the doorway with Keith Mann, and he like palmed me in my chest. He was like, "Hey, who are you?"
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, I'm Jimmy Allen with 1620 The Zone up in Omaha." And he shook my hand and said, "Hey, thanks for coming down today." Like, the guy just gets it. And if there was ever going to be a coach that I didn't have a problem with doing this during the season, it's probably him, because of everything you just said, with the ability to hold sermon, hold a room in the palm of his hand, but also be able to know what you should and shouldn't say in these opportunities and paint his players in a better light.
And if you listen to his answers, and it can be very easy when it's Mitch Sherman.
Yeah.
It can be very easy when it's Sip, when it's Sean. But like, you can go around that room and it's like, these aren't just writers and creators. Like, these are media personalities.
I don't know. Mitch made Archie cry. I don't know if we keep him that list.
He owned that really well on social media. Like the way Mitch handled that was so well done.
Yeah, that was all the sarcasm in the world.
But you hear when Coach Rule gives answers, so many times he uses the name in the answer, or he'll refer back to another answer with another person. And he uses those names, and that's the reason that he stopped you, and that's why that's not surprising to me at all that he did that, because he knows everyone on an individual basis. And I think that makes it easier for any of us if we have a question to where it might be harder to ask. Like, let's say that this team doesn't come out with their hair on fire the way we're expecting to start out this season. Those harder questions, I think, become easier because there's a relationship with them. It's not super standoffish to where you feel like a jerk for asking. There were times under the previous administration that he was like,
or the two before,
like am I going to get ripped?
Yeah.
For asking this question?
Am I going to be allowed back?
Or are they going to treat me like a jerk for asking this question?
You had a thought. You've been chomping at the bit to weigh in on this. You don't want him to do this, do you?
I don't necessarily not want him to do the podcast, but there's a part of me that says, why not just pick one thing?
In what way?
Do Sports Nightly. Do your required interviews after the game. Do your regular media availability in the middle of the week because
he's got the outlet
as per is scheduled by the university and by your schedule. Or do the podcast. Like, I wonder if by the end of the season, we're going to have Matt Rule fatigue. And I think he has more gumption and he's got a bit of a stronger will than to say, like, all right, we're losing now. The podcast is off the air. Because from everything that I saw in the preview for it, it looks like he's got maybe
a couple in the can,
4 or 5 episodes in the hopper ready to go that he doesn't have to like.
No, that preview was all in season 1, or the episode 1, by the way.
Crap.
Like where he rolled out, what was it like? It was like a 50-second thing.
Yeah.
Every single one of those things was in episode 1, by the way. So I don't know
if
maybe
he doesn't have any in the hopper. That's going to worry me even more now.
So I don't know if this is like a record on a Monday or a Tuesday or even on Sunday type of a thing, and then release on Thursday.
0 to 100. How concerned are you that the head coach is doing this?
0.
0?
I'm 0 concerned. I can see where it can become fuel.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Especially opposing fan bases, but for the home fan base if things are going wrong. But I'm not concerned about it. Like, I didn't see anything in there where I was just like, all right, this is definitely taking away from his ability to coach the football team.
How much of that is because you feel positive about where this season is going to go?
If this was 2 years ago, and he was coming in and he was just getting started and you were still in the bowl drought, you were just coming off of all the Scott Frost stuff, and it's like, yes, there is excitement for year one under a new coach. I would be more concerned then. But we have seen what are those incremental improvements that the program has made. We're looking forward to hopefully the continued year 3 Matt Rule boost.
Right.
Plus the moves he made not just with the personnel that's going to be wearing helmets and pads, but with his staff in a way that you haven't seen Nebraska coaches do that, get through 2 years and go, I'm changing all of my coordinators. After having success, getting to a bowl game, winning a bowl game, and saying, okay, the defensive coordinator, that decision was kind of made for him.
Right.
Because you had a vacancy, but there
wasn't like anybody that thought Tony White was going to be here this season.
No, he'd already planned for that by bringing in John Butler.
Yeah.
But they went out and got Eckler. And they went out and they'd already brought in Dana Holgerson that they wanted the year before, as he talked about it. But he wasn't in a place, he wasn't in a good mind space to go and take over right away, to be the offensive coordinator from spring of 2024.
Well, I brought this up a couple times, but the fact that they clearly thought they were going to have Jake Peets as well when they first got to Lincoln, I think that kind of threw a wrench into everything as well. Dan, 0 to 100, how concerned are you?
25. I'm not really that worried about it. I worry more that I'm going to get tired of seeing Matt Rule day in and day out, it seems, at this point.
Yeah, because
Opus
clips a thing, and there's going to be that stuff cut up throughout the week. Kaleb Henry has an announcement. Are we calling it an announcement?
We can call it an announcement because it's only been a little bit on social media.
Okay.
It has definitely not been talked about over airwaves.
All right. Well, we'll have that announcement for you. We'll also continue our 25 plays in 25 days. We come back. If you missed our segment tonight on Coach Rule starting the podcast, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Railcar. Stop out at 144th and Blondo for happy hour Monday through Friday from 2:30 to 6. Appetizers starting as low as $2. We're going to find a $2 appetizer anywhere in this city. It's only at 144th in Blondo. Also, $1 off all drafts and bottles, including beer, cider, and NA beers. All signature cocktails starting at $10. Classic cocktails, just $8. Every single glass of wine in the joint, $2 off. Railcars right off the corner of 144th and Blondo. Stop by and grab happy hour tomorrow. We'll be right back. 25 plays, 25 days. Rolls on. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Bob Williams with Williams Law. Has your son or daughter found themselves in a little bit of trouble this summer, maybe then in a parking lot, doing some donuts, or maybe racing down the highway and a cop pulled them over, and now they're facing a big day in court? We have the perfect answer for you. It's a free, no-obligation legal consultation with Williams Law. Bob and his team are going to sit you and your loved one down, explain their rights, and get them ready for their big day in court. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight and get a free, no-obligation legal consultation.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot fieldhouse featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Cole Scharf with Scharf Painting. Choosing a painter isn't like picking a color swatch. It's about the trust and craftsmanship. Every space is unique. Family owned and detail driven. We paint everything. Homes, businesses, interiors, exteriors, and even decks and fences. Based in Omaha, we'll travel anywhere for your project. With Scharf Painting, it's more than paint, it's a relationship. We communicate, we follow through, and we take pride in providing excellence. Visit ScharfPainting.com for your next masterpiece.
Look sharp with Scharf.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
.643 on a Thursday night here on 1620 The Zone. Kaleb Henry sitting in for John Schreiner. I'm Jimmy Allen. That handsome devil behind the desk is Dan Campion. We are brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for the ideal college experience this fall, head over to bellevue.edu. Register for classes. No classes on Friday. The majority of your schooling done online. Check out bellevue.edu for more details today. We went to break. We said we had breaking news adjacent when we came back. You have some news for HuskerMax.com.
Yeah, I do. I got a haircut today, and I still have the most beautiful hair in the room.
Yeah, without question.
Is that wasn't the announcement, but I just thought I'd bring that up.
In other obvious news, it's Thursday.
No, at Husker Max, it's been an exciting year. I went over there. I got out of the radio game.
Yeah, welcome back.
And went over there. So I love that you guys still bring me up on 1620. I've been on just about every show throughout the day.
Is there one you haven't done yet?
I haven't done Happer, and I can't because of the 10 to 2 time slot.
Oh, okay.
And that's much the same reason that I can't do Unsportsmanlike Conduct live, like in person.
Well, you hate Josh Peterson, that's it.
It's definitely John Bishop.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely all of that crappy blue, and just I was about to punch a window listening to him talk about so much Creighton stuff and getting those hats.
We should have taken that picture of Kaleb hugging Marcus Blossom while he was here. Could have been great.
It would have been perfect.
Not on camera. You guys can't prove it.
But Husker Max now.
But Husker Max, and so it's been something that has grown a lot with David Max and Joe Hudson, and I'm so appreciative of everything that they've helped. Like, they've allowed me to help them build. And when you have something building and it's growing, you start to attract more talent. And and we were able to get Jeff Sheldon a few weeks ago start writing and not just doing his Volleyball State podcast, but then coming along with that Volleyball State podcast. Today, we were able to make the announcement that Lincoln Arneal is writing Husker Volleyball as well with Husker Max's debut story. Actually just went up about 15 minutes ago. So all of that at huskermax.com. Not
Can you
paywalled.
share that from the After Hours Twitter page first?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so it's in my opinion, between those two, and then we also have He works with the Omaha Supernovas. Jeff Ekstrom.
We're not allowed to say his name on the air.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
We love Jeff on the show.
No, I wanted to know what he did. I was like, oh man,
which time
did he paintball someone's dog? What happened here?
I feel like there's a story there.
But
we've had him in several.
But yeah, having Jeff Ekstrom, he writes a lot of our preview how to watch stories. So for him, Jeff Sheldon, Lincoln Arneal, it's like
got a squad.
This is a very, very good kind of like almost premier place to get a Husker volleyball news. And I say that while acknowledging we are spoiled in this state with our Husker volleyball coverage, and not just Husker volleyball, but with our volleyball coverage, with the fact of what the Omaha Mavericks do, with what the Creighton Blue Jays do. I acknowledge all of that in what this is, a volleyball state, and in the way that this state handles the sport, the way this state grows the sport, the way this state grows young women and empowers them to chase these very difficult things to do. But we're excited to have Lincoln jump on board, and we'll get right into it with a pair of top 6 matches this weekend at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Before we get to 25 plays, 25 days, what does a subscription to Husker Max look like?
There is no subscription.
Okay, it's free.
You can go right to huskermax.com. There's a section on the left side called Fresh Links. All of that goes to where the site that we have the publishing rights for, and it's part of On SI with the Sports Illustrated Network. So Nebraska On SI is where all of our stuff goes, and it's all entirely free. There's no subscription. There's nothing you have to pay. You go in there. There's going to be a few more ads because that's how we got to generate some revenue.
We understand.
But yeah, nothing is paywalled. So you're going to get Lincoln Arneal and Jeff Sheldon, and you're going to get some Josh Peterson on whichever way he wants to win to blow.
Your audience. Pass. Dan, I'm going to send you the QR code for Caleb's Venmo. We're just going to put that up so people can donate to Husker Max. So we've been doing this. We've been doing this practice over the last, I want to tell you it was 25 days, but the idiot that runs this show couldn't count. So we've had to kind of cram it in a little bit. But we've been doing our favorite 25 plays in Husker history in probably closer to 18 days. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to continue that tonight, but we're going to let you start us off. We're going to have you give us your favorite memory inside Memorial Stadium. Not in the press box. It's got to be in the stands. What was it?
Yeah, in the stands. And that's the thing, is that I didn't go to games growing up.
Right.
And that was different. I didn't go to a game until I was in college, and I didn't go to UNL. I went to Southern Illinois, Edwardsville. So I came back, got some student tickets from some friends who were on campus. So I didn't go to games until I was watching Indomitian Sue run over like K-State in his last game type of thing. But for me, that one moment, that one play, and I happened to recognize it before the people around me did. And you go to, it's the empty punter formation.
Yeah.
And it's so it's hard to talk about
for sure.
As someone who I literally just got I'll get out in front of this. By the way, I did not know Sam Foltz personally.
Sure.
I've never known his family. I know a lot of people around Greeley. I know a lot of people around Grand Island. I know that area of the state so well because that's where I grew up. And then it's like, that's one of yours. And then he's one of the Husker nations. Yeah. And because Husker fans are nationwide, it's like, that was your guy. And so
Greg Sharp's call on the radio too, man. It was
Husker Nation, permission to shed a tear. Every word was perfect.
Could not have done it any better.
And I didn't hear that until later because I'm in the stadium and sure. I'm there with my girlfriend at the time and her family, and we're just sitting there and they run out to punt, and it's really early in the game.
That was first possession.
Yeah, it's one of those where right now I'm okay if Nebraska goes 3 and out because I want to see the Archie Wilson experience.
Fair, yeah.
Just to get it out there. But at the time,
I don't think you're alone in that, by the way.
But at the time, you're like, okay, they run out there, and I looked, I went, and I go, there's no punter. And I'm making sure, I go, there's no punter. Mm-hmm. And so I start to see people stand up, and I stand up, and the whole place goes nuts. And then they're like, hey, it's a delay of game. The penalty's been declined. I'm just like, are you kidding?
Just class act by Fresno State.
All the way around. And you can go through and you can have your issues with different coaches and eras. Like the way Mike Riley handled all of that, the way everything was handled around that. And then you have the season and you have the other teams coming up, especially the Michigan State game.
Yeah, which was tough for everybody.
Yeah, and so you have the jerseys that are sitting there.
And left at the 27-yard
line. Yeah, you have all of these things happen, but for me, I cannot think of any singular play that I was able to witness as a fan that rises above, even being in the press box. There's not a single play that to me rises above the realization of the missing punter formation.
There's that, and then there's the moment on senior day where that balloon after they kick the field goal floats down and just rests on the 27.
How does it land so perfectly there?
You can't write that in Hollywood, man. But we are at number 6 on our individual list. Dan, do you want to go ahead and play your clip for the night?
Oh yeah, I'll do mine real quick. It is one. I want to say that we did it either last night or the night before. It, I think, is one that we have all agreed will make it onto our lists. Of course, it is the best, the most classic 41 Black Flash reverse. Now that I know to be on the lookout for the surprise,
we
Harry Crouch.
Spoiler alert: it's going to show up one more time on somebody's list by the time we get done with this.
Totally fair,
but it's one of those calls that could have been so bad, but just get saved by the homerism behind it. And it's against Oklahoma in a 1 versus 2 matchup. The stuff legends are made of.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that endears fan bases to the people calling the games. Like there's times that if you're listening to
calls,
if you're listening to a national broadcast, if you're listening to, or if you're watching something on TV and it's the Big Ten Network call, it's the ESPN call,
right,
you want it to be a little bit more towards the middle. Yeah, they're going to eventually, and that's what as it should be. And I know it doesn't hit everyone the same way, but when it is the Huskers Radio Network, it's not the College Football Radio Network, it's the Huskers Radio Network. I know it wasn't called that at the time. But I want there to be a little bit of homerism. That's what I like. I've heard a number of calls for John Bishop on Creighton basketball games.
Does he do that?
I want a little bit of homerism.
Yeah.
He might take it to a lot of bit of homerism, but
only when he's talking about officials.
But that's what makes the calls so good.
Yeah,
that's what makes you as a fan, where it's I have a connection to this person telling me what's going on, and I think that's something that, as Kyle Crooks grows into the role as the voice of the Huskers, how do we hear that? And like, how much does he feel like a Husker homer to give us those types of calls? Because you got it with John Baylor on volleyball. You absolutely got it with Craig Sharp with football and baseball. Nate Rohr will give you that 10 out of 10 days on softball.
Which is the thing that, like, I don't know if we, and it's one thing to say it now that we've lost him, but I don't think Greg Sharp got enough credit for how much he often called it right down the middle and didn't give you that homerism until it was like obviously needed. But the fact that he was at K-State first and came in and did it was just seamlessly without any issue. It's such a skill set that gets lost often. We'll go to my play, which is a little bit later in life than when Eric Crouch was running wild in Lincoln. But I was literally in College Station 4 days before this game happened. Had the chance to stay, and I unfortunately had something happen in my family that I had to come back for. But this is an ending to a game Nebraska fans have sorely been missing happening on a regular basis. Dan, go to player clip. All right, that's the touchdown catch by Mo Purify against Texas A&M 2000.
Is Purify the most underrated or undervalued wide receiver of the last 25 years?
He is, and you can make that argument he's the most underrated, undervalued wide receiver of all time in Nebraska football history, and here's why. Because he had that electric, and personally, my favorite football season of all time is the 06 season because I was old enough to appreciate it. I was old enough to go to games. There was it was Zach Taylor's senior year. You had a weapon like Mo Purify. There was the running back rotation with Marlon Lucky and Kenny Wilson and Brandon Jackson and Cody Glenn and all those guys. There was just so many storylines. You're playing USC. You got to play Texas in the same year. You got this comeback. You just beat Michigan in the bowl game the year prior. But this game specifically, Nebraska has the chance to do what Nebraska does and shoot themselves in the foot. And you have passes to Todd Peterson and Dan Erickson on this drive, who had no point or no business making the plays they do on this drive. You just heard it there on the call. It was 3rd and long. Zach Taylor throws that same exact ball, and it just gets batted away. But Texas A&M roughs the passer. Nebraska gets a fresh set of downs, which makes this throw a little less pressure on it. Gives Bill Callahan the chance to call it and go right back to it. And obviously, Maurice Purify pulls it in. And in front of the 12th man and an absolute ruckus crowd, Nebraska walks out of College Station with a win that propels them to go eventually to go to the Big 12 championship game and then piss the bet against Oklahoma. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about glass half full stuff.
It's that play and what made that play
it's
special.
That whole drive, man. They put it together in 11 plays, and what's funny is obviously Zach Taylor's not Dennis Erickson's son-in-law, so he's got that going for him. But it's one of those moments that, like, you look at what happened to your point a minute ago. What happens the following year with Sam Keller and the fact that Maurice Purify just basically disappears the next season because Sam Keller doesn't know how to throw anything but a check down route and the what if of it all. So the dude was an absolute monster. I mean, the catch against Texas where he catches it between the safety and the corner and they run into each other and he breaks it to the end zone. The 3 catches against Missouri. Other than the fumble against Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, and Mo, we love you. We're not going to hold that against you.
But
anymore.
Everyone's made a mistake here or there.
Sure.
And as we saw with that year with the change at quarterback, your chances go down.
Yeah.
So it amplifies when mistakes happen.
So I mentioned that I was in College Station, but I didn't get to go to this game. I was in Kansas City for the Big 12 championship game, and it was like negative 4,000
I was going to
degrees.
say, please, I always want to try to interrupt someone as they get to that championship game
so
to see if there is anything else that can be talked about other than how cold
there
it
was.
Like that is the lingering memory for everyone.
So it rained the night before, froze, and then it snowed. So you got this cool experience at Arrowhead Stadium where you got to stand on literally like 3 or 4 inches of frozen ice in snow. And by the way, your team's getting their teeth kicked in. It was just the worst experience. But that was our 25 plays in 25 days. If you missed them and want to check them out, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Are you an HVAC expert? Maybe not necessarily an expert, but if you worked in the field, now you're looking for a new job, Controlled Comfort is here for you. They're hiring. Head over to controlledcomfort.com and apply, and you can be starting your new career as early as tomorrow. We'll be right back. We're going to find out what's trending on social media and talk to Disco Danny Dynamite. We come back. 1620 Zone. You can't find the words to say. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for AX Plumbing. 'Tis the season for tree roots to be showing up in your drains. That's right. It's AX Plumbing is here to help you, though. Free up your basement. They'll unclog that main drain. How many of you have used their water jetting process? Run a camera down your main drain. They're going to say, what's clogging up your drain? What's blocking that area? And let you know if those tree roots do exist in your pipes. Clear it out for you all the way out to the street so you don't have to worry about every time you turn on the dishwasher, the washing machine, run the shower. You're not going to have to worry about water backing up in your basement anymore. Head over to axpservice.com. Work with AX Plumbing. They'll leave your home or business cleaner than they found it.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you. And for college sports, visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, He'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monir the tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with Trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
Hey, neighbor. Oh my gosh, is your energy bill sky high again? When is it going to end?
Not anymore. My old windows were so drafty it felt like I had one open all the time. So I upgraded to Champion Windows.
Champion Windows. Are they really that good?
They're fantastic. Energy efficient, super durable, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. And right now, it's Champion's anniversary sale. They're celebrating over 72 years with 40% off new windows.
Wait, 40% off? That's a serious deal.
I know. I just went online and booked a free estimate. So easy.
So if I need windows and act now, I can save 40%?
Yep, but you gotta hurry.
Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule your free estimate. Champion's 40% off anniversary sale won't last long. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Wrapping up the first hour of 1620 The Zone, brought to you by Bellevue University. Keep up to date on all the championship action happening on Bellevue's campus by downloading the BU Bruins app to your smartphone. Tonight, Dan Campion has been searching the web all day to find us something that is trending on social media. Dan, what do we got?
Well, there's a lot trending on social media right now, but it's also trending on the campus of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln.
I know where that is.
Indeed, you do. We'll play the clip, and then we'll talk about what they did last night in Lincoln and what they have apparently been doing all day today.
Well,
I was worried too. I had to listen to it about 6 or 7 times today before I actually chose this as social media soundbite.
Hey, Dan, who was that?
That was one Harper Murray, who is now number one projected on the side of one of the libraries on UNL's campus, but is also, more importantly, an official Adidas athlete. It's only right after they've had her in, well, basically all of their ad campaigns, it seems. Going into this season,
this feels like this might have been a deal for a while. It just got finally announced today.
Like it's been.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's been a deal, and that's a good way to look at it. But they rolled out the campaign this week, is the way that goes. So she becomes the second current Husker, because Dylan Raiola back in like April,
number one at Adidas, not number one on the roster.
Yes, so signed officially as an Adidas athlete. Neither of those two are the first Husker to have done so. Lexi Rodriguez was an Adidas athlete a couple of years ago. And there is another former Husker who is officially an Adidas athlete, Olympian Kelsey Robinson Cook.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
that. Yeah.
This is great. Oh, good.
Hold on real quick. Because is Lainey Choboy not going to be an Adidas athlete as well? Because she, too, has been featured in a lot of the Adidas promo.
She is not officially as of now.
That they've been running.
I'm sure they all receive compensation when they do stuff, but I think that there's a difference between being in the ads as part of the team through like some highlights and being a featured athlete, like you're on the roster type of a thing.
Because that's a constant paycheck.
Speaking of Lexi Rodriguez, Husker fans are some of the best sleuths on the net. Someone zoomed in on the knuckle tape that Harper is wearing in said video. The whole time, by the way, only person who I know who can make a knuckle tape look stylish in a non-volleyball outfit found the JC written on one of her fingers, most likely for John Cook, and then the number 8, which famously is Lexi Rodriguez's number, and co-Adidas athlete.
When you said JC, I thought of somebody else.
So did a lot of people.
Okay.
Everyone
All right.
assumes that it's for John Cook, but
Yeah.
it could be for anything.
Fair enough. I think this is super cool. I love the fact that athletes get the opportunity to do this. Is what NIL was supposed to be for. Doing ads, being promotional advocates for brands. This is what NIL was supposed to be.
Yes. Yeah. And that's more of the landscape that you should be seeing going forward. Now, it is interesting that you get that. And this is the part that becomes the bigger picture on NIL and Adidas in Nebraska. You had Tennessee become what they are saying is going to be the flagship operation of Adidas in the collegiate landscape. For Nebraska, you'll get a chance to re-up that deal in a couple of years, but the Tennessee Adidas deal includes name, image, likeness dollars in compensation and being able to grab some of their athletes to do these types of things. But for Nebraska, you have one of the top names in collegiate volleyball, one of the top female athletes in the country in Harper Murray, and extremely visible, and not just on the court, but in everything off the court with social media and everything that she does. So you locked that up. Good job, Adidas.
Is it fair to call her a comeback story?
I think it's fair.
I
think it's fair, especially because everything we were able to see and get a behind-the-scenes look. We talk about Matt Rule, how much behind the scenes can you see? But that ESPN documentary on Husker volleyball and seeing a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff and getting some of those conversations just on a couch with Harper Murray and hearing how real all of this has been for her and how broken down a lot of it made her, but then to fight back a lot of that. And I think that's one. I think that helps us out that we're in a place
to have the power to fight back.
Yeah, to have the power to fight back, but also where we are in 2025 instead of 2015 or 2005. Think about the difference in the way those conversations went.
Yeah. Well,
10 and 20 and 30 years ago.
Here's a prime example. Like not apples to apples, but obviously two similar type stories. We're exactly 1 year removed from the Ari Gilbert vape shop incident, right?
Right, yeah.
And he wasn't able to kind of find his path back to sports or use his platform to better himself. Unfortunately, obviously, we're not wishing ill will on him or anything, but Harper Murray looked at her situation, was able to identify the problem, move forward, fix it, get back on the team, and obviously now as an Adidas branded athlete. Like this, I think this version of NIL, what we're discussing here, not only allows athletes to make money, but it also humanizes them to the point that it's not somebody just under a helmet. It's not just somebody out in a jersey and a pair of black shorts with a volleyball in their hand. You get to see the actual person outside of their uniform. And I think that helps in cases like this with what we're talking about.
And I think this is also a big point to Harper Murray, the way she has used her platform post kind of like those dark times of getting all the social media messages. And I'm sure there are people that still leave those. Like, this is not over. It's not a thing that's just done. This is a thing that now you understand how to deal with it and how to move forward with that, as opposed to everything is in the past. The way she uses her platform to talk about student athletes are people.
Yeah.
You see them on the court, you see them as superheroes, but they are people, and you get to see the humanized side of it. But I also think what Nebraska volleyball had in place as a program, as a family unit with the other players, to have in place with John Cook, obviously at the top, but all the support staff and everyone to help out Harper Murray through that time, while at the same time, she's playing extremely high-level elite volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's dealing with all of that and still being one of the best players in the country. And now to be in a place where, just from interviews, it sounds like she's feeling really good, really healthy, emotionally and mentally. Physically, obviously, she looks like she's going to be extremely dominant.
Yeah.
But to have those other parts, the emotional part, the mental part, to go into a season, I want to see her play free.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you talk about that, it's not just what she does for volleyball, but when you see it in all sports, it's like, I just want him to play loose and play free.
New voice in her ear too with DBK.
Well, yeah, and I think that can be something that can help out, because she's been at Nebraska, and it cannot be discounted that it is a female voice in her ear, because it is different, and that's not anything against John Cook.
No, not
but to hear you have that female voice now as you've come through to the other side and you're going through all of this, there is another level or two that I think Harper Murray can unlock. Maybe we see the start of it this weekend.
Well, back to that, JC, for a minute. You want to talk about how impactful these athletes can be and John Cook's impact of what's going. The Battle for Buell is happening tonight. Anybody that doesn't know what that is, you have all three Millard teams, Millard West, Millard South, and Millard North, competing at Buell Stadium. So they've rolled a volleyball court out into a football stadium. Stop me if you've heard this before. But you took a look at Volleyball Day in Nebraska and just the ripple effect that's had on this state and throughout the Omaha and Lincoln community specifically. It just seems like they took that venue of 90,000 people for a volleyball game in a football stadium, and it's only growing from that. And that's an incredible thing to realize as well. If you missed the social media soundbite tonight, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. If your business needs help with social media marketing or website design, maybe you need an entire team to manage your social media profile, check out pixelfiremarketing.com for more details today. We'll be right back. We buy or sell on college football betting lines. It's here, folks.
It's all about the game.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Paul Davis Restoration. Seasonal storms, they're not quite over yet, even though football is right around the corner. Your home can be affected in multiple ways. Maybe you started to see some rain develop behind your windows. You got some water inside. The mold started to build up. Maybe you just got some mold mitigation down in your basement. Or we all know Dad loves to burn the turkey. Maybe you cooked something a little bit too long in the oven, had some smoke damage to the wall. Check out Paul Davis tonight, 402-553-0373, and have your home restored to how it was before the damage occurred.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
This August, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are teaming up to support high school sports across the metro. All month long, grab your favorite Coke-flavored 12-packs for just $5.99 and Powerade 20-ounce 8-packs for only $4.99. Plus, to keep our athletes fueled and hydrated, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are donating $400 worth of body armor and Powerade to local high schools. Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee, keeping high school tailgates hydrated all August long.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8. And every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Facing cancer is tough, but no one fights alone. At Hope Lodge Omaha, the American Cancer Society offers free lodging for patients and caregivers traveling for treatment. And now, with the Empower program, we're providing tools for recovery, mentorship, wellness, and education, all close to home. You can be a part of this movement. Learn more, volunteer, or donate at cancer.org. That's cancer.org, where healing begins with hope.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
So great discussion tonight. You can tell that because we're way behind the clock. It's 7:16 on a Thursday night tonight. Brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Still become number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Head over to pyramid.com. Get a free gutters or something. They do it all. Check out pyramid.com tonight. Dan Campion has by herself.
Yes, I do. I also would like to request a third hour because we always need it every single week.
Jason McElligott looking at you.
Armageddon kickoff. 2025 college football season is less than 48 hours away. K-State, a 3-point favorite. Ireland, Avery Johnson, and the boys can cover with Ireland.
Listen, I've been on the trail of K-State. I think they go out to beat it. People are going to come away from the early kickoff.
I'll sell on that, and the reason being is dumb things happen in Ireland. Shout out onside
Chris
kick.
Kleiman will not go for an onside kick.
No, I don't think that will happen either. But weird things happen in neutral site games to open the year. Weird things happen in conference games to open the year. Weird things happen in overseas games to open the year. So I think there's plenty that you can look at for Iowa State in this game and feel like not only can they get to that 3 points as the underdog, I think they can come out winning as well.
What if the stadium runs out of beer?
Yes.
Dan, what do we got?
Maybe. I would assume so, especially for Farmageddon and beer. It doesn't seem like a match made in heaven.
How has Busch Light not sponsored the game yet?
Let's stick with the college football betting world, but let's flash forward to week number 1 and big new kickoff. It's in Columbus. The Longhorns are ranked number 1, but are a 2-point underdog. Buy or sell, Cooper Manning's tiny baby boy can walk out of Columbus with a W.
Do you guys really call him Cooper Manning's tiny baby boy?
Who doesn't? I think this is very weird that the Longhorns are a discount or an underdog. I don't know.
It feels like a discount.
This definitely should be a Texas swing. But listen, when you got Caleb Downs on the defensive side of the ball against a guy that's only started quarterback at Texas for 2 games, and then you throw Jeremiah Smith into the equation, kind of makes sense. The problem is Julian Sands never started a college football game before, and he's your starter for Ohio State. I think the Longhorns win.
I think the Longhorns win, and here's the reason for it. Just look at Ohio State getting a first start at quarterback.
Yeah.
Over the last 20 years, when a QB makes his first start against the number 1 team, 0-18.
Which they probably should be.
And so we'll move to 0-19, even with how highly ranked and the home field advantage for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Julian Sayin is going to help move that to 0-19.
And he wasn't really projected to be the starter until 2 days ago. So the fact that he probably hasn't got as many number 1 reps either probably puts him behind the 8 ball a little bit.
I hope both teams have a bad time. Iowa State and Kansas State is not the tightest line of the week 0 slate. However, Stanford and Hawaii is a 2.5-point line in favor of the Rainbow Warriors. Buy or sell Stanford and Hawaii is going to be competitive.
It's going to be competitive for all the wrong reasons, folks. That's going to be a bad football game. I will be surprised if it is separated by 3 or more points, I will be surprised if the total score is over 30.
I was going to sell simply because of how bad Hawaii has been as a program. Not to say Stanford's been any kind of
on Timmy Chang's
any kind of a juggernaut, but yeah, it's bad out there on the Big Island.
The best thing to come out of this game is the fact that Captain Andrew Luck is back.
The only
the Twitter page.
Yes.
Whoever wins,
Dearest mother.
You know who's going to win this game? The people that don't watch it.
Michigan lost 5-star offensive tackle Andrew Babaloa. Buy or sell, this gives you a little more hope that Nebraska can pull off a win in week 4.
I already had hope. I think they beat Michigan in this game. I think not having Sharon Moore is just a secondary here. I think it's going to be a slow start for Michigan. Obviously, we just talked about freshmen starting at Ohio State. Bryce Underwood starting at Michigan. I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. There is a couple of pretty big games early in Michigan season, not only with Nebraska, but they've got to go to Norman beforehand as well. You've now have another game in which Sharon Moore is suspended because of the hammering of Michigan. I think Nebraska wins this game.
I think it definitely moves it more towards Nebraska's favor because you do have 3 games to get those pass rushers, get that defensive line organized.
Yep.
In the fact that you're replacing those big guys up front with Ty and Nash. So you got some opportunity. You obviously have a big opportunity a week from tonight. We're still not even a kickoff a week from tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
In exactly 7 days. You'd still be 39 minutes out from kickoff.
Hang
at
tight,
Arrowhead.
folks.
Oh, my God.
Hang tight, folks.
So you've got a chance right away to figure some stuff out against an offense that can be pretty good. They can sling the ball around, but then to go get a couple of games at home. I like this quite a bit. But then, yes, obviously the interim head coach and all the things that Nebraska is one not facing, but also has added. This is just one more thing that adds to Nebraska being able to get the win.
Rob Dvorak, I've been on your bus this entire offseason.
Honk, honk.
I want to see you dial up some crazy stuff to exploit Michigan. And finally, last question of the night. Rich Eisen hosted SportsCenter 2 nights ago. Buy or sell, ESPN needs to bring back former anchors.
I sell. And I know that's probably surprising for a lot of people here because Rich Eisen never lost a step. It was a flawless broadcast. He was great. All the nostalgia. You know what ESPN needs to do? ESPN needs to hire better anchors that can be more entertaining and engage people in their product.
I'm going to buy this, and the way that you roll it out is the way they did Rich Eisen. The way you had Scott Van Pelt take over the SportsCenter at night. The way you had him being so entertaining. The reason people still love to turn on Dan Patrick. Like
it's a flashback.
Like, yes, having these guys, one, it is nostalgic because that's who you grew up with. And I think Rich was absolutely right.
He killed it.
And then to point out like who was not sitting next to him.
Yeah, that was the big caveat. And I think that's part of the reason he wanted to do it too.
Yeah. So you have all of those things. But if you can get those guys that are entertaining, but also they're telling you the stories of what's happening, and it's not first take. And it's not the people just yelling and not really knowing what sports they're talking about.
That's what
because
built the program.
Yes. So those are the things that I think people, they want more of. And those are and what they've gone to has driven a lot of people away. And now people think about ESPN and SportsCenter, and they're just like the vision that someone has who was born after 2000.
It's
the way
Stephen A. Smith.
It's so much different. It's Stephen A. Smith. It's the people yelling at each other all the time. It's not the fun. This is SportsCenter, and everyone able to have fun with it. And the way we grew up with it, which it makes me feel old to talk about it like that. And it's like, oh, what an old man take.
Bring back This is SportsCenter commercials, you cowards.
But yeah, mostly that. But I think if you can bring back the people who are able to deliver a quality show that's entertaining and informative, that's good for ESPN in the long run. It's not just nostalgic.
I will buy, but I will buy with one major caveat. You cannot bring back Keith Olbermann.
Because?
Not an Olbermann guy.
He's gone too political post SportsCenter.
I paid zero attention to Keith Olbermann's career.
He was at Fox Sports for quite a while. And then he just kind of like slowly started turning into a political lane. And now he's just driven off the side of the cliff and is sitting at the bottom of the ravine.
All right. Well, Keith Olbermann, you stay in that lane over there. We'll stay over here on 1620 The Zone, where you can check out all of our shows at 1620thezone.com under the radio replay tab. This segment was brought to you by our friends at Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. It's almost fall outside. Before it starts getting cold, set up a maintenance appointment on your HVAC unit. Tony and the team are going to come out, take a look at your AC. They're going to tell you about how many years, maybe even months, you can expect that AC unit to hold up. They'll also give you peace of mind about your furnace turning on the next couple of months as well. Head over to controlledcomfort.com and set up a maintenance appointment tonight. We'll be right back. Which quarterbacks won't be better this year in the NFL? Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Williams Law. Do you have a son or daughter that's found themselves in a little bit of trouble this summer? Maybe they've been speeding down the street. Maybe they've been caught in a drag race on a closed street that they shouldn't have been at, and now they're facing a legal date in front of a judge. That's not a situation you want to find yourself in. It's definitely not a situation you want to find yourself in without representation. Head over to WilliamsLawLLC.com tonight. Bob and his team are going to sit you and your loved ones down. They're going to give you a free, no-obligation legal consultation to explain your rights and get you ready for your big day in court. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com to get a free, no-obligation legal consultation tonight.
Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny and warm into the evening with the temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. Mostly clear tonight, a low around 66, then partly cloudy on Friday, a high around 88. There's a chance of a shower or thunderstorm we get into Friday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue. It's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
This August, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are teaming up to support high school sports across the metro. All month long, grab your favorite Coke-flavored 12-packs for just $5.99 and Powerade 20-ounce 8-packs for only $4.99. Plus, to keep our athletes fueled and hydrated, Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee are donating $400 worth of body armor and Powerade to local high schools. Chesterman Coca-Cola and Hy-Vee, keeping high school tailgates hydrated all August long.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
Hey, neighbor. Oh my gosh, is your energy bill sky high again? When is it going to end?
Not anymore. My old windows were so drafty it felt like I had one open all the time. So I upgraded to Champion Windows.
Champion Windows? Are they really that good?
They're fantastic. Energy efficient, super durable, and backed by a lifetime guarantee. And right now, it's Champion's anniversary sale. They're celebrating over 72 years with 40% off new windows.
Wait, 40% off? That's a serious deal.
I know. I just went online and booked a free estimate. So easy.
So if I need windows and act now, I can save 40%?
Yep, but you gotta hurry.
Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule your free estimate. Champion's 40% off anniversary sale won't last long. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit ChampionSaveNow.com. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
7:30 on Thursday night here at 64 The Zone, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. You can jump number one in Omaha for over a decade by accident. Check out pyramidroof.com. Free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding, things with all. Check out pyramidroof.com tonight. It's time for Will Won't Should. We're going to tell you which NFL quarterbacks will, won't, and should be better than they were last year. I'm going to go ahead and start us off with my will. It is Josh Allen. Josh Allen finished middle of the pack, 14th in passing yards last season, 7th in passing touchdowns. You don't have that much talent by accident and then find yourself in the middle of the pack in the NFL. I think he's got another year with this wide receiver group. I think Josh Allen's got a legit chance of winning the NFL MVP this year. That doesn't happen unless he will be better at the quarterback position for the Buffalo Bills this year.
My will is Patrick Mahomes.
Ooh.
And now when you look at where things are, what does Patrick like to do? He likes to look out for his guys. And one of the things that you're going to look out for is Travis Kelce will retire at the end of this year.
Without a doubt.
And if you're looking out for your guys.
Will he have Matt Rule on his podcast?
Well, probably.
Well, Matt Rule have him on his.
Just back and forth, a little bit of you, a little bit of me. But when you're looking out for your guys, what you want to do is to give them as much success as possible. You saw it with Tom Brady and Gronk, and it was like, Gronk, you need one more catch.
Yeah.
We've all watched that. One more catch for $1 million bonus or whatever it was. Mahomes is looking out for his guy. And the connection that he has with Kelce is special. It's one of the most special in NFL history. You've seen it by the way the stats have played out. But also, they want to get back on top of the mountain. They don't want to stay down for too long. You're going to see something special come out of Patrick Mahomes. And I know it feels like we take
AFC West is kind of taking a step forward, though.
Yeah.
That's my only hesitation.
And with that, he needs to take a step forward.
Fair.
So I believe he will be better than he was in 2024.
My will is Drake May. Last year, I think, unfortunately for him and at the detriment of the New England Patriots, he was drinking through a bit of a fire hose, it being his first season and all. 10 interceptions and only 15 touchdowns. And it sounds weird to say this, but only 2,276 passing yards last year and a 66% completion percentage. I will admit that I am rooting a bit for Drake May to have some success this year because he is my backup fantasy quarterback.
Aha.
He is not my first string fantasy quarterback. He is my backup. But I have a feeling that within a Vrabel system, he will be spending hopefully a little bit less time on the field, and that interception number will go down quite precipitously.
You know how I feel about Drake May. So
I do.
We'll go with who won't be better than they were last year. And for me, it's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow led the league in passing last year, 4,918 yards, 43 touchdowns, and he was sacked 48 times. That's just an all-time season. If Cincinnati had any kind of defense, like if they had anybody with a pulse playing defense last year, we might be talking about Joe Burrow's 24 campaign as maybe one of the best of all time. The fact that that Cincinnati team last year was so bad and missed the playoffs is a lot of the reasons why we're not. I don't think that Joe Burrow may necessarily regress this year. It's just kind of hard to duplicate that or even be better than that. I mean, almost 5,000 yards and 43 touchdowns in a season where you don't make the playoffs is unheard of.
My won't. It's Trevor Lawrence. And now it's not
Man, if he doesn't get better this year, we got a lot of questions.
And that's the thing. The floor was already pretty low.
Right.
And I think it's going to go even lower. Things are not going to go well for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Even though they have Travis Hunter?
Even though they have Travis Hunter. And yes, I think that's a special player you can roll out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to sell a lot of jerseys. I don't think it leads to ultimately a lot more success. And when you're the quarterback on a team that's already not great, that's tough for you to look better than you were.
Especially when they put your name on the stadium. Dan?
Mine is Sam Darnold.
Ooh.
Just kind of as a generality, I don't think he can have the season that he had last year. Just comparatively.
Fewer weapons in Seattle. I get that.
Fewer weapons. And the fact that Seattle just gutted that team to try and get some sort of draft capital that they needed. I think that was maybe his one shining moment sort of kind of deal in the NFL. And this is going to be the year that Sam Darnold totally falls off. Because he was still making bad decisions last year, too.
Yeah, he doesn't have Justin Jefferson to bail him out this time. Who should improve in the NFL at quarterback heading into this season. For me, it's Caleb Williams. He got sacked in NFL most 68 times last year. He still completed 62% of his passes, 20 touchdowns, just 6 picks. He needs to get the ball out quicker. That's going to help him out a ton. They obviously made improvements on the offensive line, bringing in John Tunney and Jonah Jackson. But also you had you had Ben Johnson to the equation at coach. Caleb Williams should at least take a step forward this season. I think it's going to be a pretty big one.
I'm going to go with, I think Justin Herbert should be better this year. And as you continue to have that
quarterback whisperer of coach.
Yes, you continue to grow that relationship there. For him, it's going to come down to, does he stay healthy?
Yep.
That's going to be the biggest issue for Justin Herbert. He's got all of the tools. He's got weapons while he's there. And yes, he does have Jim Harbaugh.
He's also got to stay patient too, because Harbaugh's going to want to run the ball like 40 times a game.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have to grab the trash can for what I'm about to say.
Oh, no.
Because this might be vomit-inducing for me.
No.
Because I think that Caleb Williams should be a better cornerback this year than he was last year.
It's just hard to see how he doesn't improve.
It's all the things you said, Jimmy. And the fact that when you look at his numbers, they weren't terrible.
Dan's a Packers fan. That's why this is happening.
He had
that makes it fun.
Yeah, he had 3,541 passing yards last year. And the touchdown to interception ratio
pretty good.
Is extremely acceptable for a rookie quarterback. Compare him to what Drake May did last year, and you're looking at two different sides of the same coin.
Yeah, one good quarterback, one bad quarterback.
Yeah, one side of the coin is shiny and new and can actually hurt you with his legs, and the other one is
Drake May.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But he did get sacked a lot this year. Offensive line help will be good. And I want to finish off all of this by saying the Bears still suck. Go Pack Go.
I love the way you phrased it, though, to give yourself some leeway, where you said those numbers were extremely acceptable.
Yeah.
not like they were good. It was nice to see. You can see an upward trajectory. This was acceptable.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Dylan Raiola, is he worth $3 million? We debate on the other side of the break. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. It is the premier suit buying experience in the Midwest. You want to know what? You can get a discount on some of those suits right now if they're available on the Summer Rack. The Summer Rack is 20 to 50% off all summer goods that are still available at Jerry Ryan. Suits, sports coats, pants, sports shirts, shorts, polos, you name it. If Jerry Ryan still has it on the rack from the summer layover, it's 20 to 50% off up until the end of August. Get over to 78th and Dodge tomorrow. Jerry Ryan's been dressing Omaha for over 50 years. Dylan Raiola, you could put a dollar amount on him. What would it be? 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for our friends at Railcar. You want to talk about brunch, you can only talk about one place, and it's Railcar. Every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2 p.m. Nutella French toast, my personal favorite thing on the menu. We know Railcar's got a ton of great dinner items. You're not going to beat the Nutella French toast at Railcar. Chilaquiles, the breakfast nachos, John's personal favorite, the lemon ricotta pancakes, Dan Campanet's personal favorite, the pile up, the sticky pecan donut holes. Great menu options, great brunch options, and the best brunch option in Omaha is 144th and Blondo. It's Railcar. Stop out and grab brunch this weekend.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, he'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
7:41 on Thursday on 1620 The Zone. Kaleb Henry sitting in for John Schreiner. I'm Jimmy Allen. That's Dan Campinen. We're brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Over a decade of being number one in Omaha does not happen by accident. Head over to pyramidroof.com for a free estimate for your windows, your roof, your gutters, your siding. They do it all. Check out pyramidroof.com. Tonight, Dylan Raiola, according to On3, is a $3 million quarterback. Now, this is all of his NIL deals put into one, as well as the money that comes in from rev sharing now. But he is the
so is that what he's getting or his valuation?
That is what he's getting.
Okay,
allegedly, which makes him the highest paid quarterback in the Big Ten. Now, I ask you this. Obviously, we learned today that Darren Menes, the Duke quarterback that transferred in for Tulane, is getting paid $4 million a year. But Bryce Underwood, who has played exactly, let me count them, 0 college football snaps, will also make $3 million this year. Now, it's a different case. We obviously heard all the Dave Portnoy stuff and what it took to get Bryce Underwood to Michigan, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But this seems like a far cry from 2 years ago where Matt Rule stood up at the podium and said, you want a good college football quarterback, costs $1 million a year now. That's apparently tripled. Keep your inflation jokes to yourself at home. But it just feels like the price of being good is going up and up and up and up.
Well, yes, you were going to have natural increases from year to year, but also new this year is the revenue sharing.
Sure.
So that's an additional piece to the pie that wasn't there 2 years ago. And I think you also have with some of these guys as businesses have realized what are they worth? What should we pay them? Something Dylan Raiola has this year that a Nebraska quarterback didn't have 2 years ago, even if they were all over different fast food places for their combo menu.
Shout out to Amigos.
He's an Adidas athlete.
Yep.
So you have different things that are more of a national leverage point within the name, image, likeness game. You have the new revenue sharing model. Those things are different than 2 years ago. And yeah, absolutely. I still think it's you can get a good quarterback for $1 million in the transfer portal, depending on the program you're at.
And probably not going to be a 5-star guy.
No.
Which brings me to my next point, because Carson Beck, who obviously was formerly at Georgia for 9 seasons, is now at Miami. And he's also going to make $3 million this year, but he's got a caveat with incentives in it. And I think as rev share becomes the thing, we start to see contracts come into play. Carson Beck can make up to $6 million if Miami wins a national championship, et cetera.
It's more of an NFL type contract.
Exactly. And I think that is the way we're going to head in the future. Is that good or bad for college football?
It depends on the program. Can you afford to put in incentives? Because you can put in those things that are like Carson Beck can double his contract.
Yeah.
But did you budget for that? And if you did budget for that additional $3 million and he reaches none of those incentives, what else could you have done with that $3 million?
And do you have a surplus now? Do you have to give it back?
Well, would that $3 million have been put to better use instead of the incentives for Carson Beck? Would that have been better used on 2 pass rushers, 2 elite pass rushers?
Well, and you have to wonder, like, what you just brought up with the incentive stuff. If it's not there, like, does this run us into Jaden Rashada type waters where who falls on the sword here if that money's not available for the player at the end of the season? And if it's like a guy like Carson Beck who's out of eligibility, you kind of left out in the cold, right? Because there's obviously lawsuits and litigation that you can get into, but it's not like you're coming back next year.
Exactly.
You can't regain that money. It's going to be really intriguing to see all that shakes out. We got to wrap up the show and get to our trash takes of the night. When we come back. If you missed this segment, check it out on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. It was brought to you by AX Plumbing, Home or Residential. They can do it all. I had a great conversation with Dan, the regional manager at AX Plumbing, right before I walked in the door here tonight at the studio. We broke the chain on our flusher on our toilet. They're coming out to replace the whole unit tomorrow.
Oh,
Happy to see those guys stop by the Casa de Allen tomorrow. We got our trash takes coming up. We come back. 1620 Zone. Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here for Paul Davis Restoration. Seasonal storms still hanging around. If you've got some lingering damage from some hail or maybe some water that backed up in your house, maybe you're starting to smell a little bit of mold and you weren't able to get it up to snuff or maybe the way it was before the rain even came through, call Paul Davis tonight, 402-553-0373, or just store that number in your phone because, listen, we all as homeowners know damage is eventually going to happen in your house. You're going to have it restored. 402-553-0373 is how you can get hold of Paul Davis tonight.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
It's golf season, and Jerry Ryan is your one-stop shop to get out on the links this summer. With options from Johnny O, Roan, Peter Millar, and Mizzen and Main, you'll be the sharpest dressed guy in your foursome. Stop in and let John, Dan, Jake, Deanne, and Monier the Tailor get you ready for the golf outing circuit or your big wedding this summer.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
It's the tail end of the season. Does it seem like your AC unit is already checking out, not kicking on when it's supposed to, not cooling like it did back in April? Your unit may be reaching the end of its life, or may just need some TLC. Head over to ControlledComfort.com today. Set up a maintenance appointment to finish out the summer strong and prepare your home for the fall and winter months. You don't want to replace that AC unit, but if you have to, Controlled Comfort is here.
Controlled Comfort keeps it under control.
1620 The Zone is your place for all things Nebraska football. Starting today, we begin Red Out Week, presented by Union Bank and Trust. Feel good about where you bank. Member FDIC. Gary and Matt, The Connor Happer Show, and Unsportsmanlike Conduct bring you daily coverage and breaking news, concluding with our roundtable. Today, live from Blur Tailgate inside Kauffman Stadium, where all of our hosts convene for a 1620 The Zone pregame show. It's Red Out Week on 1620 The Zone, presented by Union Bank and Trust. Tell us how you feel on the JTech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Matt, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on JTech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. JTech Construction, your exteriorexperts.com.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Put a bow. It's closing time on the second hour of the After Hours Lounge, brought to you by Pyramid Contractors. Stop over at pyramidroof.com. Get a free estimate for your windows, roof, and gutters, and your siding tonight. Kaleb Henry's in for John Schreiner. He's going to give us his hottest take of the night in a minute with our trash takes. Maybe that's finding the After Hours Lounge for the first time. Welcome. Thanks for making us part of your evening. What we're going to do here is all three of us are going to give a hot take to wrap up the show. We'll put a poll up on Twitter. We'll vote. You will vote for who had the best take. Whoever receives the fewest amount of votes will have the trashiest take of the night. Now that I spit all that out easily, we'll get to it. I'm going to start us off. Jerry Jones, you're an idiot. He has now offered Micah Parsons the largest contract in NFL history for a non-quarterback. This man has slandered your franchise. He's had his own podcast where he's done so. He said horrible things about you, the way you manage your team and your franchise. He does not want to be a Cowboy. Get the most you can for him and let him leave. Kaleb Henry, what do you got for us?
It's nice of what the SEC is doing.
Oh, okay.
It's nice that they're doing that with the going to go to 9 conference games and have that requirement of that 10th game against a Power 4 or Notre Dame. But I don't care.
Oh.
I don't care. Nebraska's doing it right. Indiana is doing it right.
I like this.
If you can schedule yourself some wins on there, and I know the College Football Playoff Committee is going to have a strength of schedule metric until they actually prove it that you have to do something with those non-conference games other than win. Nebraska, Indiana, pretty much the rest of the Big Ten are doing it right. It doesn't make it any more fun as a fan, but you know what is fun? Winning, putting yourself in a position to make the postseason.
See, that's why I asked the question about what's next for this, because this can't be a response of what we saw last year. Because all the committees responded to last year was wins and when you won. It didn't matter who it was against. The fact that Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois and still made the college football playoff should tell you everything.
How fun was that game earlier in the year?
It was
that
fantastic.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, but listen, as long as you have a 1 and then a number after it in your win column, and you're in the Power 4, you're in. Dan?
I'll make mine moderately quick and fairly easy.
Okay.
Dear Pat Fitzgerald.
This doesn't feel quick.
It does not. I'm really glad that your whole lawsuit, wrongful termination, $130 million, we're never going to know how much the university actually settled for case and all that is done. And you want to get back to coaching. I hate to break it to you, buddy. This has already played out in the court of public opinion as well.
Yep.
They found you fairly guilty. I have a feeling you're not going to be seeing a head coaching job for quite some time.
Kaleb, you got takes on naked car washes?
Pro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, if you missed any of the show tonight, want to check it out on our radio replay page and we'll figure out how pro Kaleb Henry is about being naked on a football field. You could do so on our radio replay page on 1620thezone.com. The show now was brought to you by Allo Fiber. I've had Allo in my house for over a year now. They put a Wi-Fi extender on the back of my house. I can go 1 block in either direction, still be connected to my home network. It powers my security system, all of that. If you ever have a problem with your streaming, maybe buffering or slowing down, I haven't seen a spinning circle on my TV since we switched to Allo. Get out of the Stone Age and head over to allofiber.com. Team up with Allo, our friends with DirecTV and the all-new Allo Mobile. Switch, stack, and stave up until Labor Day. 24 months of uninterrupted services with a discounted price as well. Check out allofiber.com/stack tonight. For Dan Camden and Kaleb Henry, I've been Jimmy Allen. Happy National Hazy IPA Day, everybody.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience from their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today. Are you watching the water slowly seep down the drain again? Go with a local solution. Go with trusted. AX Plumbing is here to help. With over 20 years of serving the metro area, AX Plumbing can do it all, from residential to commercial. They can even help with the new build installation service. Head over to axpservice.com today. There's financing available to qualified buyers and military discount too. Check out axpservice.com today. AX Plumbing. They'll leave your place cleaner than they found it.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
What is dedication? The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.